what takes more energy to keep the status quo or to change? Hi, I'm Trilby Johnson. I'm a breakthrough mentor and metaphysical intuitive, and I help people go beyond limitation into their wisdom. And this means an end to struggle, pain, and stress. And yes, it's totally possible. So let me explain a little bit. It takes an enormous amount of energy to keep things the same, because what we're doing is actually stopping the flow, the natural flow of energy. And this takes up a lot of management skills and constant looking after housekeeping, looking after this, looking after that. Whereas if you can get into the flow, then things keep moving and ease, and then more comes. So when I work with clients who've been in pain, anxiety, stress for a long time, the biggest hurdle is for them to actually take that step and come forward to be willing to explore something. They have realized that the pain, the overwhelm, the anxiety, the feeling of being stuck is unbearable anymore. And so when we have mentoring sessions or healing sessions, we start to look at the energy and move it through so that there is flow again. So if we're looking at how the brain works, so thoughts are electrical signals, and so they send out electrical impulses. Now emotions are magnetic, and so they are attractive and attach themselves to specific electrical frequencies. And this is why when we get in a rut, an emotional rut, we keep on thinking the same thoughts over and over again. And this is just to explain really how the brain starts to work on a physics level. In NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, a tool that we use is to reframe cognitive dissonance as well, is reframing. And in woo-woo, this is being looking at things positively. But what we're actually doing is we're just allowing the brain the opportunity to actually rewrite the script. The wonderful thing about the brain, and this is its power and it can also be its derailer, is that the brain does know no time. This is why there's such a stress to be in the present moment, because the brain does not know whether what you're talking about happened 5 years ago, 5 seconds ago, or actually is going to happen in 5 minutes from now. For the brain is actually very single-minded, pun intended, and it is focused totally on that. That is why when we have too much going on, we get stressed and overwhelmed, because the brain has so much that it's trying to manage. Now, it can operate on many levels at once, so it's not like we have a single thought. But yes, truly to focus, you can only really focus on one thing properly in the moment. So, sorry, multitasking, as has now been scientifically observed, is actually not possible. You can focus on many things to a certain degree, but to full focus, there's only one thing. So anyway, this is in working with how the brain works. And if we're able to reprogram and introduce new information, the brain really kind of joins that up and you can make a new association. So if you're able to disrupt the association, the magnetic with the electrical, this is how we rewire the brain. Now, for most of us, even if we're very, very vigilant, this is a very quick process, and so we need to slow down in order to observe it. And this is why having a mentor or somebody that can help you slow down that process is really important. And there's an energy to this as well, a gravitational force. So this is also why it can make changing seem so difficult, whereas in fact to change is really to let go and allow the flow, and it's much easier to do. So the more you can be present, come to the breath, quantum physics, in the moment, now, then it is easier to change than to keep the status quo. As I've said, it's really helpful if you have a mentor. So I help people really in a very energetic way. So we bypass the subconscious because your mind is doing its job and it's really, really good at it. However, it can get to the point where it can become a closed circuit, and the mind is limited to the data that's available. So we also want to be tapping into your intuitive properties and things like that. And the best way I have found to do this is through the body, through the sensuality of the body, and through what many call intuition, hunches, so ESP, things like that. It's really not woo-woo, it's natural, and we all have this capacity. If we develop it further enough, then we're able to change things quite simply. So change is about practicality and what's happening in the minute, the information you would like, and how you'd like to feel. When we were children, this was happening all the time. We called it learning, but as we grow up and older, it becomes automated. And so if you're not asking questions or actually being observant of what reactions you're having, then you cannot take responsibility. So the ability to respond is not the same as reacting, as I'm sure you may have experienced at times in your life where you're triggered or you have a knee-jerk reaction to situations. So hoping that this offers some insight and encourages you, if you're feeling stuck or a bit reluctant to ask for help or think and believe that you can change, it is totally possible. Whatever you create, you're totally able to uncreate as well, because you, dear listener, are the creator. Have a wonderful day, and if you'd like to work with me, you can apply via the you know what to work with me, and let's see how you can go beyond limitation into your wisdom. Have a great day. Bye.